Hi, Bill. Yes, I do remember your State of the Union message when you advocated school uniforms, and I do appreciate your help in my campaign. However, your support does not mean I can push through a federal mandatory school uniform policy. Sorry, Bill, I am not convinced it will solve our violence and discipline issues.
Barack, it's the right thing to do for your campaign and for the kids. I supported it then and I support it now. It helps even out the playing field. No issues with kids feeling left out or that they can't keep up with others who wear designer duds.
I don't know, Bill. Then parents need to buy the uniforms and the kids need clothes for after school. I don't see how that saves any money. Will you expect me to come up with the funds from our federal budget?
No. Parents can get help with the cost of uniforms by having the schools order them in bulk, and families can get help by applying for financial aid. In the long run, this saves the family budget. I am telling you, Barack, safety is a big issue in our schools and we need to address this before the election. Since my address in 1996, there has been a lot more research done on schools that have implemented uniforms and most is positive.
I have not seen any of this research. If so, why do so many people say we could be sued if we try to implement such a plan?
Nonsense. Court cases have ruled time and again on the side that school districts have the right to implement dress codes and have historically permitted school districts to govern dress and grooming issues such as hair length. Concern and dress codes, specifically in Powell v. South Hadley School Community, 1993, Massachusetts District Court upheld school officials' right to ban offensive T-shirts, agreeing that such clothing was inconsistent with the district's basic educational mission. In another clothing-related decision, Jiglin v. San Jacinto Unified School District, 1993, a California district court upheld a school district's right to ban students from wearing any clothing with a collegiate or professional sports insignia if the district could substantiate the connection between such clothing and gang activity in the school.
Okay, even if we are within the law, I am still not convinced it improves academics or violence. Where's your evidence?
Let's start with the academics. Ann Bodine works for the University of Texas and published findings in the Journal of Educational Research that agree with Ryan Young's findings. He's from Syracuse University. Their research was taken from National Studies Eccles Canel's You Know That Early Childhood for Kindergarten and the National Educational Longitudinal Study for Secondary Students. This showed improvement with the schools with policies for wearing uniforms by over 2 points on standardized achievement tests in public schools.
That sounds good, Bill, but I know others dispute some of their findings and we can argue this all day. So what about safety?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's start with the Long Beach Unified School District, who was the first district in the nation to implement mandatory uniforms in 1994. Their research after the first year compared 1993 to 1994 to 1994 to 1995, with the latter with students wearing uniforms, and found assault/battery decreased 34%. Assault with deadly weapon decreased 50%. Fighting decreased 51%. Sex offenses decreased 74%. Robbery decreased 65%. Extortion decreased 60%. Possession of chemical substances decreased 69%. Possession of weapons or lookalikes decreased 52%. Vandalism decreased 18%.
That's interesting, but what other districts have implemented school uniforms?
In all, 37 state legislatures have enacted legislation enabling local communities to set their own uniform policies. Presently, 80% of the public schools in Chicago require uniforms, as do 60% of the schools in Miami. Additionally, 30% of San Francisco's public schools have uniform programs, as do 95% of the schools in New Orleans, 50% in Cincinnati, 85% in Cleveland, and 65% in Boston. Both Long Beach, California, and Birmingham, Alabama have mandatory uniform policies. On May 8, 2000, the Philadelphia Board of Education became the first large city board to require all students in public schools to wear uniforms.
Well, I'll have to think about this, Bill. I still feel I need more proof.
It's time for action. Hurrah for our kids' safety.
Now that you've heard both sides of the uniform debate, we're going to ask you to vote pink if you are an opponent to uniform use in schools, and vote blue if you are a proponent. If you would like uniform use in schools, vote blue. If you would not like uniform use in schools, vote pink. Thank you.